Hello everyone, welcome. My name is Adam and welcome to today's vlog. And today we're talking all about prepared version 5. So if you're coming in for the first time, welcome. And we'll begin in a moment. So if you're coming in for the first time, there in the description box below, there's a free book, there's some gaming goodies, and there's a link to the Discord Brotherhood where you can join up. And I've been doing these vlogs for just under a year now, so the idea was to see the changes in my life. So that's basically it. And without further ado, we'll get on with what we're about to do. So, prepared version 5 has come out. And for anybody who is unfamiliar of what P3D version 5 is or what any of this is, it's a flight simulator designed or distributed by Lockheed Martin. Lockheed Martin, back in 2006 or 2009, something like that, they bought the ESP engine from Microsoft, who had Microsoft Flight Simulator 10, or FSX as it was known. And they reproduced that engine into P3D version 1, which is basically FSX, with just a different UI. And then they released a version 2, which was a bit more streamlined. Version 3 was kind of like what FSX Steam Edition is a very performance enhanced and visually different simulator. And then version 4 was their 64-bit or their Flight Sim World. And now they're bringing out tomorrow, in less than 24 hours, the next version. And even though Microsoft have stepped back from the flight simulator scene, they stepped back in like 2013, 2014, and they allowed Dovetail to develop on their engine. And now they've come back into the community. Last year they had launched their trailer for their upcoming simulator, which has been sort of nicknamed by the community, Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. And it looks to be taking flight simulation into a new way of, creating a flight simulator. FSX was pretty much a core way for, gosh, we're in 2020, so we're talking almost like 15 years ago, and it hasn't changed a lot since then. P3D version 4 is a 64-bit version of what FSX used to be. So it's it hasn't moved on that much. But Microsoft are moving it on by bringing satellite data and actually streaming the landscape and the world in the pipeline onto your computer through the Game Pass and P3D version 5. We're going to have a look at everything. We're going to have a look at all the videos that have been released. We're going to have a look at all the change log of what's to come. It's due out April 14th. No price has been announced on their website at all, but we're going to have a look at it in depth now. So if you're coming in, say hi and let's chat about P3D version 5. Are you going to be buying it? So P3D version 5 launches. This is the actual website here. So let's check it out, shall we? P3D version 5 is the first step in the development of a new platform build for next generation simulation and training. And there is a video, so we shall check that video out. Except I've taken this video and I've got it queued up on a bigger display here, so we can have a look at it. I'll just turn the sound down really, because the sound's not really important. So Aviation lads created this trailer for Microsoft, and it shows off an impressive world, although it shows off basically what P3D version 4 looks like. I'm guessing this is Africa. Default, we can only assume that all of this is. There's been no reference given. This was only really announced like a week ago. This trailer is like a week old. So I guess that is default out the box, and that is the souped up version, or was that P3D version 4 and this is version 5? It's not really been explained. We don't really know. Oh, bit of a rough landing. So there we go. That is that basically. Now I've got some more videos queued up and that, and we'll check them out in due time. So I think the next one is about the menu system, which was released for FS Elite sort of yesterday. But before we do that, let's have a look at the release notes. And this is basically everything you can expect, and this has been on this website for over a week now. So if you've already read this, then in the next 2 minutes, you're not going to learn anything new. But general platform updates, enhanced performance. Now, I've seen this in action. I've seen people using this live, and the performance from difference between version 4, and version 5 is a big difference. Basically, my P3D version 4, I can have a majority of the settings, all the sliders sort of to the right, a majority of them. A couple of instances I do have to take it down, especially if I load in aircraft like PMDG, or if I load in some really heavy airports and scenery. There's some sliders do have to go down, but for the most part, they're kind of like, I would say maybe 75 to 80% to the right. In version 5, everything can be ticked and everything can be to the right, and you'll still get the smooth frames that you wish for in version 4. So enhanced performance, I totally believe that. And the first thing everybody wants to know is, how does it perform? Well, I've seen it in action and it performs very smooth. And it uses the new Microsoft DirectX 12 rendering. I believe version 4 doesn't. It uses 10 and 11. But it can be stuttery, depending on your hardware, really depending on your hardware. Realistic sky clouds atmosphere with simul true sky integration. Now, I mean, for anybody who knows about simulation, True Sky basically made its debut in FS World. That was the atmosphere engine for that simulator, and the new Microsoft Sim uses True Sky, and so does a few other games. I play the Assassin's Creed games, and Origins and Odyssey also use True Sky. So I can definitely vouch that the atmospheric, the weather basically, is very nice looking, I feel. There is an option to untick it, as we'll see in the menu system. There is also a option to create your own. It doesn't come with live weather out of the box, from what I see. And because of the nature of the way it's been made, I do believe that the option to create, like say with Active Sky, maybe even Rex, I do believe that they will work if you get rid of True Sky. You can untick it so it's not used, and then you can use your own weather engine. I do believe that will be in place there, but that's just a total guess at this point, to be honest. So let's just double check. Dynamic Ocean now. NVIDIA WaveWorks 2.0. So just to give you an idea of what that is, let's check out here. This is basically a YouTube video of that. Let's get rid of the sound and the dude talking. And this is what you can expect, basically. I have seen the water in action, and again, it looks really nice. You know, the wakes in the water, the wave like machine mechanics of it, it does look really good. In fact, this is exactly what Origins and Assassin's Creed Odyssey look like. When you're in the boat traveling along, that's exactly what it looks like. So, I mean, the wave, the water basically implementation, and the weather are two major features that have been changed from version 4 to version 5. I can't wait. I think that's gonna really, in fact, I think this is one of the Assassin's Creed games, to be honest. But I really can't wait. Actually, that isn't now. But yeah, I can't wait. The ocean, the dynamic ocean within the simulator does look really good. How it reacts when you end up ditching in the ocean will be fun to find out. Now this one, added slopes and runway support for takeoff and landings. Now we've had, in version 4, there is sloped runways all over the place. That's not a new thing. But for the AI to do that, I can't remember ever seeing AI land on a sloped runway. But you know, it's now included as a support, so that's great. I'd have to test that out, to be honest, in version 4, but sloped runways, that's already a thing, so that's not really anything to get excited about. Updated time zones to match real world boundaries. Now this is a bit of a glitch in the matrix for FSX, for P3D, all of them. I have to use an add-on myself called Sim Elite Time Zone, and basically when you're in your plane, it matches up the times, so it doesn't lose time. And evidently the Sims are famous for losing time. You'll start off at a certain time, and slowly, gradually, over the course of your flight, your simulator clock on your plane will go completely out of sync with what you've got in the real world. It looks like that they fixed that glitch, and it's now, I don't need to use that Sim Elite, basically. You know what? Added 8.33 kilohertz spacing support. Hey, you right, Leopard? How's it going, mate? Who knows what that is? I don't even, that's spacing support. That's not even whatever. Users can now switch vehicles while in multiplayer. Now this is pretty cool. This is going to open up the doors, I think, for a lot of fun. Obviously, it's got multiplayer, and I'm guessing no matter what version you buy, multiplayer is enabled, and you can set up your own lobbies and stuff like that. But the fact that you can jump in, you're right, Mo, how's it going, mate? The fact that you can jump in and out of a plane is pretty cool. You can, get in a Cessna, fly to an airport, jump out, jump into like, another one you've got loaded, say 737, fly somewhere else. I think this is going to be utilized by the public in a very interesting way. What do you guys think of the new simulator? We're just going through it right now. I'm about to show a video of the menu system. So all of these here really about the multiplayer. It's I think it's going to be exciting to have a multiplayer in P3D. I think a lot of people are going to utilize that. And the map screen is now available during flight. Well, the map screen's always been available during flight. You just go to map and you click on it, and it's been there. So I don't really know again why. There's a lot of these here that I've seen, and I just like that. That's not really a feature. That's not really, updated default controller layout. Ooh. Yeah, I mean everybody configures their own controller layout anyway. So, hey Clive, you're right, mates. What's the price? Did they announce it? Unfortunately, this is the product page here for the store. Refresh it. There has been no announcement for the price yet. But what I tell you that they have done is, it does say here, P3D engages users in immersive training throughout realistic environments, ideal for commercial, academic, professional, or military instruction. So I do have a feeling that the pricing structure, whatever it may be, will include a professional version, a academic version, and then of course a developer version. What price they use, I don't really know, but you got to remember that P3D is a military training simulator. It's not made for commercial use. It's only the simmers really who utilize it for commercial use. But they're mainly selling it to the military and their in-house pilots. So to be honest, they'd have no problem selling this at the same prices that you see down here. $50, $60 for academic, $200 for professional. Who knows? But I'm sure they also are aware of Microsoft launching a new sim. But I don't think it's their primary goal, basically. No Black Marble in version 5. Well, we're going to get to that, Clive, in a moment. Updated over 24,000 airports with the new data across the entire globe. Basically, this little bit of information is telling me that the sim is taking the old data that it's had since 2006 from FSX, and it's updating it finally. I mean, finally, that a lot of the data that they've been using for the past how many years is now finally getting updated. I think that's a good thing rather than a about time thing. Updating global terrain elevation. This is basically going to mean that you're not going to need unnecessary add-ons that will slow down the performance of your sim, such as Black Marble. If the night lighting system is that accurate, why would you need Black Marble to make it accurate? Black Marble is an extremely accurate, using real road layouts for your lighting in P3D version 4 and FSX and all that. But if this one has the exact same information, why would you then want to slow your sim down by using another add-on? Of course, the visual look of it is going to be one thing, and that's one thing we're going to have a look at, is the night lighting system in a moment. PMDG Aircraft Clive says will work in version 5, but we'll have to wait for installation files to be produced. We're going to get into that as well, mate. Don't you worry about that. So a lot of these, I've noticed as well, are fixes, are updates. See the word updated, updated, updated. To me, that basically means that they're taking all their old data that they've been using for ages, and they're replacing it with more current, up-to-date information, which means how the sim performs, how it looks, will be more in line with what's coming rather than what's been, if you know what I mean. Have I seen the night lighting? We're going to look at it in a moment. In fact, let's have a look at the video FS Elite did on the menu system for P3D version 5. If you haven't seen it, this came out yesterday. This is their menu system that they've got going. basically looking exactly the same as version 4, but a bit more streamlined. This really takes a leaf out of Project Fly, I think, with the color system. But I like the way that it's all easily accessible down here. I mean, basically, the information contained within this is exactly like P3D version 4, but it's better laid out, I feel. You know, there's a lot of things that have been put together rather than they were separated into other boxes, which just made it more clunky. Flipping between the menus, you know, like this basically is the same layout as P3D version 4. Exactly the same. It's just a different color system, you know. I'm sure the way that this menu system on the back end has been produced is exactly the same, you know. But I using different code, so therefore a bit, you know, more refined, a bit better. Let's skip past here a little bit because a lot of this is exactly the same. So as you can see, I mean, it's exactly the same tick boxes, isn't it, guys? But the one thing I do enjoy here is, yes, you've got your add-ons and your scenery library accessible, but here, the names of all this are exactly the same as in P3D version 4, right? Exactly the same. I mean, they've probably literally taken the information from one and popped it into another. But I do hope that the texture files, I do hope that the actual files used have been changed. But this concerns me a little bit because it's exactly the same layout, which is a good thing, okay? It concerns me because it's like, they're not changing anything, you know? They're not actually making it, you know, radically different like Microsoft are. They're radically changing their scenery, the way they develop it. It's actually coming from satellite data. It looks totally realistic, photoreal, whereas P3D version 5 isn't doing that. But what it is doing is making it backwards compatible with existing stuff. So version 4 scenery will be compatible with version 5, but it just may not take advantage of all the great features that version 5 can do, but it will work with it. It may even need a couple of tweaks on your CFG file, who knows, but looking at this scenery library layout tells me that my add-ons that I've got, my scenery add-ons, which I've got loads of, I mean, I've got a full hard drive full of scenery stuff, and I know it's going to work in P3D version 5 if it needs to. Guys, it might not even need to because the default might be good enough. We're going to have a look at that in a minute, you know. But this does sort of concern me, like the new P3D version 5 isn't going to be anything groundbreaking like Microsoft Flight Sim 2020, but it's going to be backwards compatible with version 4. I mean, all these settings are identical. It's exactly the same layouts, you know, everything. But this is the thing that's interesting here. So yes, okay, same sliders, same, you know, the words they use, slightly different order now. They've kind of put the water and the special effects, you know, on this side, you know, rather than that side. And they've combined the weather with the terrain rather than having two separate ones, which is good. It condenses a lot of the menu systems into one. But I mean, this is where you're going to be doing all your tweaks. But this here, enhanced atmospherics, by the looks of it, that true sky, you can tick off, you can tick on. Now, if you can turn off true sky, that tells me that weather engines that have been working with version 4 and FSX, like Active Sky or Rex Skyforce, are compatible with version 5 and you can use them instead. But I do believe that a small update will be needed by those developers in order for the code to seamlessly work with version 5. I don't think you're going to be able to take your version 4 and make it work with version 5 without issues. If you want smooth, you know, performance of your software, I do believe a small patch will be required. And it'll just be a very simple patch for, you know, the back end, you know, admin stuff, you know, the coding side of it, you know. I don't think it's going to be anything major. I do think you will be able to use your weather add-ons and that, but you might find that there's certain glitches and maybe crashes, who knows. Is that what I'm hoping, as I'm not keen on TrueSky? If you're not true, I mean, look, you can turn off here. You can see it right here, enhanced atmospherics. It's in the beta, but that's TrueSky, that is, okay? That's been confirmed. So if you untick that, you now have no weather in your sim, you know? Your sim is not producing any weather. Where is that weather going to come from? Well, they surely, because of the scenery library, allow you to integrate your own weather. So if you don't like TrueSky, I do believe you can replace it. I personally do like the look of TrueSky. I think it does look really good. So I would be using it, and I would be whacking that cloud resolution right up to the max. This does make me, you know, sort of feel confident about buying P3D version 5, and I have seen all these sliders pushed all the way to the right on every single one, and all the shadow boxes and everything ticked for the lighting, and the performance remain the same, you know, than say version 4, where a lot of this is actually turned down. I mean, the performance changes from 4 to 5, I do believe, will really astonish people and make their sim run the way they've always wanted it to run. You do hope that they'll be online in-house weather systems like X-Plane. Well, that's exactly what we've been just saying, yeah. Do I prefer it over Skyforce? Skyforce and Environment Force are very, you know, system resource heavy weather applications. So it's like, if you use them, your performance in your sim does go down dramatically. And I've used my sim. In fact, you know, there's a few videos on this channel where I've used my sim with default weather system, but just replace the textures, and it looks pretty good. At the moment, right now, I don't have Skyforce or Environment Force installed on my system in my sim. It is literally just the Rex texture replacements and the default weather system and active sky, and that's it. You know, that's all I use at the moment, and it looks okay. In the next few flight videos I do, I'm going to start integrating Skyforce to really see the difference, but I know the performance is going to go down, and for me, the performance means everything. You know, the performance is really important to me to be smooth. So if an add-on doesn't make it smooth, then I won't simply use that add-on, even if it does make it look great, because I'm not really concerned into making it look great. I'm more concerned into making it be smooth. But I do prefer what TrueSky does, especially with the performance, over than what Skyforce will do. You know, but who knows? Maybe Rex will update their program to be more in line with version 5. You know, the new version of Rex products are very good on performance, and I do not notice performance degrade. Well, I mean, everybody's computer is different, and everybody's software use is different. I mean, I have got literally hundreds of planes in my sim. I can't even count how many airports I've installed and how much landscape I've installed. My computer, I know, will run version 4, you know, at default to 250 frames. I've seen it. It's in one of my videos. If you go back. But everyone's computer is different, and I've added loads of stuff into my sim. But when I do put Skyforce in, I'll notice a big difference, and certain things will have to slide down. But who knows? I might not even get that far. Tomorrow, version 5 comes out. Are you going to be getting it, Clive? Hey? Are you going to be buying it? The multiplayer aspect. I'm quite glad there is now a true multiplayer aspect, kind of like what there was with FSX, you know, and what there is with Steam. I do think that this is going to be utilized by the community for those that get it, and we're going to see a lot more fun videos on Twitch, on YouTube. Streamers are definitely going to take advantage of this and produce a lot more content with it. I think this is a good thing, and it does also mean that if, you know, you don't want to be trolled by people on, say, like VATSIM, by either the controllers or other players, then you can host your own private stuff and set up scenarios and set up training missions. And I think virtual airlines as well will really take advantage of this. You know, I think this is going to really change the community. But Clive is sticking with his version 4.5 for now, guys. I mean, I'm happy with version 4.5. Don't get me wrong. I'm happy with it, with what it's achieving. But at the same time, depending on the price structure, depending on how much it costs, version 5 is looking very nice because of the performance, you know. Although saying this, I mean, it's even changing my mind over Microsoft, to be honest, guys. I gotta tell you, the performance in the sim from version 5, if the price is right, there'd be no need to buy Microsoft 2020. I won't even care if I ever use it ever again, you know, because you only have to pay once. You'll only have to pay once with P3D version 5 if they stick to the old, you know, costing pricing. Like, if you get the academic version, you'll only have to pay $60 or 40 quid or whatever it is. Whereas with Microsoft, you're going to have to pay every month. You know, you've got to have the Xbox subscription, the Xbox Game Pass subscription for the PC to use the Microsoft one. That's a monthly subscription, guys. Every month you pay your Game Pass. If you want it for PC and console, it's £33 every 3 months. If you want it just for the PC, I think it's like £8, £9 a month. So that's a subscription fee, guys, for your flight sim, you know. Black Marble, no supporting version 5 is very disappointing. Well, you see, Clive, I don't really think it is, you know, because it means that your version 4 would never be out of date. Like, you would never not use your version 4 if you prefer the night lighting system of Black Marble. And to be honest, the back end of version 5 and version 4, from what I've seen, look very similar. So any add-ons should really be able to be compatible if the developer wants it to. They should really be able to go into it, you know. I mean, we've seen from the video that the scenery library, the add-on system, is exactly the same from version 4. So therefore, the Black Marble that goes into your scenery library, you know, should be able to go into version 5 scenery library if the developer made it, you know, compatible. But we're gonna have a look at the night lighting in a moment for version 5 and actually see, well, do you actually need the night lighting? You know, is the default night lighting for version 5 good enough? You know, we'll have a look at that in a moment. Right. One thing I also see a lot of here is the word fixes or fixed. You know, fixed, 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 fixes, and it does continue down here. Fixed, fixed, fixes. Now, to me, that just suggests that they've improved version 4. You know, that there's a glitch. There's something going wrong in version 4, and they've, you know, removed that glitch. They've replaced it. They fixed it. You know, for the better, you know, for the worse, who knows? But to me, looking through this change log, version 5 seems to be more of an update, more than a new version. You know, this just seems to be, guys, we've made it better. You know, but it's the same old stuff. You know, they fixed the submarine, mate. Hey guys, oh, do you know that submarine that nobody ever used? They fixed it. I actually used the submarine once. It doesn't have any internal cockpit. Nobody's made an internal cockpit or an internal thing for it. You can only see it from the outside. You can only see it as a exterior view. There's no interior textures at all. Using Chase Plane, if you go inside the interior, there's nothing. It's you look around and you just see the water. And to be honest, you don't even see that. You just see black. Like, there is no mapping of any textures. I do hope maybe they have done something, because I would like to see people utilizing the underwater aspects of Flight Simulator, because, you know, with the if you tick that box in to say that you enable the barometry of the underwater, you know, you can do training missions, you can do fun things as like submarine, Crimson Tide, you know, your own hunt for Red October. I do think that would be fun, but nobody's ever textured it. Nobody's ever created or done anything. I mean, it is flight simulator at the end of the day, not submarine simulator. But yeah, I updated deep sea submarine model. Well, hey, I'm quite intrigued to see what they've done with the interior of the ATC tower. But yeah, a lot of these things here basically is like, yeah, right. Well, okay, so what? But this one, to me, is interesting. Scenery library items can now be dragged to different locations. So I mean, that's basically what Orbex did with their new central app. Basically means that you don't have to have your scenery library within your core root of your sim. You can have it anywhere you like. You can have it spread across multiple drives if you wish. But it's not now stuck to, I mean, to be honest, it wasn't really stuck in the first place. Like for me, my scenery items I never had in my sim in the past. I always symbolically linked them into the sim, but I had them stored on another drive for space reasons, you know, because I wanted to keep my hard drive as clear as it could be. And I would back up all my scenery stuff on this 4 terabyte drive and then symbolically link it into my sim. Then Orbex changed the way they did things, and I didn't have to do that anymore. They finally caught up and started to do like the way I always was doing it for years, but now they started to do it, so I didn't have to symbolically link, so that's great. So I'm glad to see now Lockheed Martin now are finally catching up and are doing the same thing. But to me, that's a big thing, that is that you can your scenery library isn't stuck to any one location, you know, that you can do it anywhere, you know. Guys, there's a link in the Discord in the description box below. You know, click in, join the Brotherhood, guys. Like this video. If you subscribe to my channel, you'll see something funny happen on the screen. But yeah, come join us, guys. I do regular flights, you know. I mean, a lot of these things are basically for training purposes. If you're training rather than simulating for fun, a lot of these fixes here are like, okay, really good news, but for a majority of the users, I imagine, they're not going to really care, you know. Fixed cases where hangar buildings were too large in some cases. I decided to buy version 5 and take advantage of the improvements, but when I was informed about Black Marble, I changed my mind, as no other night lighting compares to the quality of Black Marble. Well, I do agree with you there, Clive, but I also disagree, because we haven't actually seen the night lighting yet of version 5, or have we? Shall we have a look at it? This is what the night lighting system is from version 5. Again, this video is on YouTube already. It's the video from FS Elite. Screen freeze. Ah! Well, there you go. Glitches in the Matrix. Do that again. Night lighting. Then we'll look at the clouds. Then a few moments. Then that. Night lighting. So for me, looking at the night lighting, it's garbage. Clive says it's garbage, but to be honest, mate, you're absolutely right. Oh, hang on, I'm not trying to advertise these guys, by the way. Initially, looking at this video, which looks like it's the default, you know, night lighting system, it does kind of look a bit weird. It does kind of look the same, basically, as version 4. That they haven't updated it one bit, you know. The only other possibility for the night lighting is Orbex. What did Mo say? Yeah, he agrees. It's garbage. Keep in mind, it is only default. Yeah, I mean, this is default, but at the end of the day, just because Chris Bell says that the Black Marble isn't going to be compatible, Like, in other words, he's not going to upgrade it to version 5. Does not mean that it won't work in it. I dare say it probably will work. I really do. I really honestly think that you'll be able to utilize the Black Marble within version 5 with glitches, with problems, with issues. You know, it won't run the way it should. But I mean, look at this here. It's tiles. It's basically the same way as version 4. That they're just introducing texture, and that's it. But it kind of looks like sick. It looks like somebody's been sick all over the kitchen floor, you know. But we are at how far off the ground? I mean, to be honest, this video does not represent anything of showcasing the night lighting, because you only see it from a certain altitude. It never goes higher than like 30,000 feet, where, to be honest, it's going to look better. I have a feeling if you're in a 737, 747, 777, and you're flying 25,000 plus, that this night lighting will actually look pretty good. I think the higher you go, the better it looks. I think if you're flying low like this, it's going to look like this. Garbage, you know? But, you know, yeah, I expecting more in version 5, true. But that doesn't mean they won't update it, Clive. I mean, in version 4, the night lighting was pretty terrible. And then I think in the second hotfix or the first hotfix, they updated it and it looked really good. In fact, I've got, to be honest, I'm still getting people asking for them now, but I've got a free night lighting system that is literally, you just put in through your scenery library and it looks really good. It looks really like almost Black Marble level, and they're totally free. And I get people asking me for these lights all the time through my Discord channel. And I'll go, yeah, no problem. Send me your email and I'll send them off to you. I've had about 50 people so far ask me for these night lights. And I'll be using them night lights in version 5 if Black Marble aren't compatible. That's for sure. There's been a change in movement at P3D, and has upset a lot of changes that were planned for version 5. I don't know what you're talking about, mate. I mean, to be honest, we're only talking about what we know here. I mean, speculation city, yeah, no worries, but I don't know what you're on about there. There's been a change of management, sorry, not movement, management. Right. Get rid of that now. Sorry, Clive, I misread it. Been a change of management for P3D, and that has upset a lot of the changes that were planned. But it doesn't mean that they'll never come out, does it? Because we might have more updates in the future. I mean, I'm hoping that, to be honest, there ain't going to be as much updates as there was. Version 4 had a lot of updates, didn't it? Like 2 hot fixes and like how many updates? 5 updates, 2 hot fixes. It's like, and every time you did it, it introduced a new problem into your sim. So I do hope version 5 is update free, but the night lighting system is exactly what could be updated, Clive. It's exactly what could be improved on, but there's more than one way to skin a cat. Like the night lighting system I've got, in fact, you know what, Clive, I want to do a video, mate. In fact, I've already done a video. What am I saying? There's already a video on my channel showing off those lights. Yeah. I mean, I won't find it now, but yeah, if you go back into my library, you'll see those free lights that I'm talking about and how good they are, and they'll work within version 5 if Black Marble, it doesn't. I'm pretty sure. But I'll tell you this now. Before I started looking into version 5, before I started watching all the videos, I was like, I ain't even bothering with version 5. Like, I'm getting the new Microsoft Flight Sim. Why would I bother with version 5? But then I started thinking about it, Clive. Then I started thinking, actually, I'm probably more swaying now to version 5 than Microsoft 2020. Okay? There'll be another hotfix for version 4. You reckon home Hornetville, sorry. Hey, Hornetville, mate, how's it going? Welcome. You reckon there'll be another hotfix coming our way? Crisp Spell is spitting feathers, especially as he was behind the improved night lighting in version 4.5. It's been posted somewhere. Hey, I can't. I'm not going to be updating. I'm not going to be hot fixing it again. I can't have it. I'm sick of these hot fixes, mate. But now, one thing that really persuaded me for going for version 5 over Microsoft is the price structure. You know, like the pricing hasn't been announced yet. You know, this is their store. Version 4 down here. You know. Version 5 here, it comes out tomorrow. There's no pricing, but they do say that they, you know, a commercial, academic, professional. I think it's going to have the exact same pricing structure as they've already got in place. It may not be the same price, but it most likely will be. It'll cost between £40 and £45 for anybody in the UK to buy the sim. I do believe that. But once you buy it, guys, it's yours to use however you want. You know, if you want to fill it with add-ons, you can, but you don't have to pay, if you don't want to, any more towards the cost of that sim in terms of the core sim. You know, obviously you fill it with add-ons, airports, planes, whatever, that costs money, but the actual simulator, Lockheed Martin do not go, by the way, you're getting an update, can you please pay for it? You know, although I do kind of feel like this is what they're doing now. Whereas with Microsoft, with the Xbox Game Pass, that's how you utilize that simulator. That's a subscription, right? £8 a month to use your sim. £8 a month to use your sim, right? 8 times 12. You guys are paying £96 a year to fly in the new Microsoft Flight Sim, right? P3D, you're only paying £45 forever. As long as Microsoft produces a professional simulator with excellent performance, I am prepared to pay the monthly fee. Boom. There you go, Clive. You think version 5 will be the same price as version 4? I do too. I really do. I think version 4 and 5 will be similarly priced, because at the end of the day, Lockheed Martin are not making it for the community of flight simulation. They're making it for the military application. You know, and they've got a lot more cheddar than us community members. You know, you've paid $60 for 2 years in version 4, mate. That's a lot cheaper than I paid, mate. But yeah, okay, $60 for 2 years worth of use, and then you're gonna pay another $60 for however long. You know, it's gonna take about 8 months, 9 months. For the flight simulator of Microsoft. I mean, imagine if you had to pay. I mean, imagine that. 2 years. That's like, hey, that's like $194 dollars, mate. $194 or pounds, really. Dollars is more. $250. $250 for Microsoft for 2 years versus $45 or $60 for prepared version 5. I mean, anyway, each their own, guys, each their own. But to me, the pricing structure is very important to how to utilize. Plus, also, you know, the other thing you've got to remember is the internet connection required to use. I mean, this is not a slam Microsoft video, by the way. Let me just get that out there straight away. I'm not trying to slam Microsoft. They're using the internet, though, to bring the sim to you. You know, the landscape is being downloaded through the internet, and you can either download it live on the fly and get the best use out of it. They've stated that themselves. Or you can sort of pre-download certain aspects of it and have a limited experience. P3D, you only download the software and that's it. You don't have to have your internet connected to utilize the actual sim. You do for add-ons in version 4, but you don't really for the sim itself. And so if my internet goes down here and I'm without internet for like a day, I can still go flight simming in version 5. Whereas in Microsoft, mate, I'm very limited in what I can do. I'm very limited. And to me, the price and the functionality of it is a major factor in my decision for which platform I'm going to go for. I mean, to be honest, at the end of the day, I'll probably go for both. I'll probably get Microsoft as well. But if I'm totally happy with version 5, why would I need to bother? Why would I want to, you know? Unless Microsoft drastically change their pricing structure, I honestly, guys, don't think I'm getting the new Microsoft Flight Sim 2020. I really, the one that they released for it to pay, I don't think I'll bother. You know, really. There's no difference between professional and academic version. Clive, exactly, mate. There is no difference. There is a difference, clearly. There is a massive difference. If you're training to be like a military pilot and you want to set up scenarios, that's the only difference between the professional version or professional plus and the academic. There's no actual difference for using the simulator the way the community uses it. Academic is totally fine to get. Trust me, mate. Learned it the hard way. They've said they will come with offline scenery out of the box worldwide, which still looks better than P3D, even with Orbex. You can do. Well, exactly, Mo. Like I said, you'll have a very limited experience of the Microsoft Flight Sim. If you don't have an internet connection, you can still utilize certain aspects. Mate, if I'm in a flight sim, I don't want certain aspects. I don't want to have a limited, experience. I want to have a full-on experience. I want to have the experience that I bought, And internet connection is not a guaranteed thing, My internet could go down for whatever reason. What if one day, you're not able to pay for your internet? Therefore you just go, you know what, forget the internet. Don't need it. Get rid of it. Or what if you move to an area and suddenly the internet is really shockingly bad? I used to live in Wales. There was no internet. I had no internet. It was only when I moved to Birmingham that I was able to sort of produce videos for this YouTube back in 2017, because I wasn't able to do it in 2016 because I had no internet. And, I know I'll be moving from where I live right now one day. But what if I move to a place where it's got no internet? I'm very limited in what I can do with my Microsoft. So, Mo's going to get both, though. Mo's going to go out. He's going to get both. I mean, I'll probably end up getting both. Who knows? Who knows what the future will hold? Also, another thing I'm glad of it is that they've completely changed their HDR. Like, I don't use the HDR in version 4. It looks really bad. But I've seen it being used in version 5, and it looks good. They've done it. They've changed it. It's fixed, and everything is going to have PBR ready materials on it. Whereas, like at the moment, there's only a few planes, and there's only certain airport developers that utilize PBR. So version 4, your PBR is very scattered. It's just here, there, and everywhere. It's not everything. Whereas in version 5, everything's PBR'd. And that really helps to make the visual look of the sim look a lot better, It really does change the visual look of the sim. And for me, that's a big thing, that is. That's a real big thing. I don't have to suddenly... if I use my version 4 add-ons, it's not going to look the best it should look. But I still do think the add-ons will be compatible, guys. I really do. I really think you'll be able to use version 4 add-ons. Why do I think this? Well, let's have a look at the next video. This is the reason why I think that the version 4 add-ons will work. So this is Rob's video. Do you know what? It just keeps doing it, man. It's crashed again. My VLC player keeps crashing on me. It's so weird. Massive glitch in the matrix for VLC, man. Anyway, we'll just load them up one at a time now. This is it here. This is Rob's video he did, where he looks at Orbex, California, both north and south in version 5. So this is North Carolina. North Carolina? This is North California and Southern California. And this isn't like a version 5 special. or anything like that. This is the version 4. Although I think it's probably most likely True Earth, actually. Either way, sorry. This has gone through Orbex Central, you know. I think it is True Earth, actually, this. But basically, this is what you would use in version 4 in version 5. So this to me tells me that the add-ons from Orbex are completely compatible, and like they won't need to change. You know, they don't need to be changed. It's most likely an implementation within the Orbex Central app itself. You know, every developer who is planning to do version 5 add-ons like airports and scenery, every single developer bar one have said all your updates for version 5 will be totally free. You won't need to pay anything, except one developer. Guys, can you guess who that is? Put it in the chat, guys, who you think that developer is. We all know who it is. They've stated that you will have to pay, or that you'll most likely have to pay. They actually haven't stated you will have to pay, but they've said basically, you know, if we're going to put our products in version 5, it is a lot of work to do, and we don't know if we're going to charge you for it or not. But if it's a lot of work to do, it ain't going to come cheap. It ain't going to be free. Oh, Clive, you're a winner chicken dinner. Of course it is, PMDG. You had to pay from FSX to P3D. You had to pay from P3D version 3 to P3D version 4, and you had to pay for the new compatible Microsoft NXGU one as well. So of course you're going to have to pay if you want to get a version 5 upgrade. You know, of course. No charge though, Clive. Actually, they didn't say no charge, mate. Can you link in there that announcement then, Clive, please, in the chat? Just put a link in the chat where it goes to, because the announcement I read actually said they don't know if they're going to charge or not. But there's a lot of work to do if they're going to make them, you know, compatible with version 5. And to me, if you've got a lot of work ahead of you, if it takes a lot of time or takes a lot of work to make it compatible, of course you're going to charge people for that. You're not going to do it for free, you know. Because the announcement I read actually doesn't say free, mate. Let's have a look at their... bring up their website. Community forum. Pardon me. Announcements. Question about version 4. New Microsoft. Social distancing. Yesterday at 9/11, which is the most recent announcement I've seen them make. Here we go. Let's go through it, mate, shall we? Mo said they've said that there's no reason to charge for version 5. Guys, are you reading the same thing I'm reading? We're gonna have a look at it in a minute. In fact, we'll just pause that and we'll look at it now. We'll slide this off. Guys, this is the announcement, right? This came out yesterday at 9/11 in the morning, okay? And they're talking about some usual stuff here about their current stuff, you know, the updates that they're pushing out at the moment for their current products. And it's only down here where they talk about P3D version 5, okay? And it says, what will it cost? Now, this is the sentence here that's very important. At this time, we do not see any compelling reason for additional costs to our P3D customer base. Guys, that's not saying no, you will not cost you. That's not saying you are not going to be charged. That's saying Well, we don't see a reason why not, you know. But let's have a look at the rest of it, shall we? So we have been guests of Lockheed Martin in their testing program for some years now, and with the public announcement of the version 5, I want to give you some clarity on how we plan to handle the transition. So they are planning to move from version 4 to version 5 within their sort of, well, not move from it, but include it rather, sorry. Version 5 is a major version change for P3D, as evidenced by their decision to change from 4 to 5. Okay, so that's just going by numbers, that's not. When we first entered the P3D marketplace, we indicated that pricing on our products would be higher, in part because the platform is evolving, and this will require development time and management to keep products up to date moving forward. The benefits of this have been realized as P3D moved from version 3 to version 4. Right? That's their justification for charging you. And from version 4 to 4.4 with PBR, and now to 5. We continue to keep the product line in step with the changes, and we are continuing to roll out these changes to you so you can also keep in step with the platform changes. Now, basically, in that paragraph alone, guys, they've said this is the reason why you have had to pay for every single version. Now, don't get me wrong here. I'm not trying to slam PMDG or Robert. I actually use PMDG. I think they are the best aircraft manufacturers for the flight sim out there. You know, high quality, study level. I use them. I love them. You know, I would continue to use them and love them. Although I do find, like, I've had conversations with Robert where I asked a simple question and he basically had a go at me. I don't think Mr. Robert's a very calm person, but then again, he owns a company, so, you know, who is? There is a lot of waffle in that paragraph. You're right, Clive. There's a lot of business talk as well. There's a lot of setting up or laying the groundwork for the payoff later, okay? And basically they're saying that, you know, from FSX to P3D, from version 3 to 4, you've had to pay because there's been that much change in our products. We've had to charge for it, right? And it does say, and now to version 5. Okay, so moving on to version 5, it's just like it has been from, say, version 3 to 4, you know? Honestly, there's no difference there. So the fact is that I had to pay again for a plane that I bought from FSX to P3D version 4 means I will have to pay it again. Not maybe full price, but there will be, I think, a discount, you know? I really don't think they're just going to give me a free update for version 5. I really don't, you know? The change in management at P3D has caused a lot of trouble. Mate, I don't know what you're talking about with the change in management, to be honest. I don't interact with the forums or anything like that. At this moment, to our best of our knowledge, right, so that's their trying to step away from blame, our core products are compatible with the new version of P3D right out of the box. Excepting, of course, that we do not yet have installers available for customers, so they don't actually know that they are. They say, to the best of our knowledge, in other words, it's a total guess, right? They're completely guessing. Now, guys, Robert is not an idiot. He doesn't take risks like in business, does he? He makes sure he gets paid because he's got a lot of overheads. He doesn't guess at things. He knows things. I think he does know it's going to cost to upgrade from version 4 to version 5. I really do. And I really think he doesn't want to say that right now because people will just go, I'm not even going to get it. You know, guys, a businessman wants you to buy their products. He wants you to buy version 5 so you can get that upgrade for his planes. He wants you then to go on to Microsoft as well and get that as well. So you'll have to buy it if you haven't already got the XGU. Buy it again. You know, he ain't stupid. I really think, guys, you will be paying again, or you'll be getting it at least at a discount. It'll be like $24.99, you know, to get the compatible version. We will be rolling out installation updates to our existing P3D line during the coming days and months that will allow customers to use their products in both version 4 and 5 environments. I mean, I do hope it's a free update. I really do. But this doesn't say, guys, for definite it is. This basically says they don't know and they're going to wait and see. That's basically what it says. That's the only reason I wanted to read this out. I mean, you'll get it through the thingy map, you know, the your ops account. What's it called? Operations Center. You'll get it through that. But they don't know if it's going to cost you. But this here does tell me about the price for P3D version 5. This here tells me that that there obviously is a professional plus version. So they are doing the academic, professional, and professional plus, which means there is going to be that pricing structure, which means it's not going to be a free update. Like, I've seen people talk about it's going to be a free update. I don't believe it will be a free update. I think it will be a costing update. You will have to pay, but how much is the question, guys? Is it going to be a reduced amount or is it going to be the full amount? So many developers have been left out in the cold. Is this from that P3D management shakeup, mate? I honestly don't know what you're referring to there. I have no idea. You reckon it'll be the same price, Clive, yeah? Well, I do think Lockheed Martin are not thinking of the flight sim community when they make their products. They're thinking of their other customers, the military industrial complex. So I do think it will be the same full price as well. But I'll tell you this now, I ain't going to be getting the professional version. That's for sure. But this video here from Rob, okay, if you haven't seen it, go check it out. This tells me that the add-ons, the scenery add-ons, the airport add-ons are all compatible with version 5. But if you stick them in, it's not going to look the best it can look, because version 5 has got a whole host of new features that version 4 don't have. So therefore, the developers haven't implemented them into the airports or the scenery add-ons. And if you do then use them version 4 add-ons with version 5, you'll actually make your sim look probably worse than it needs to. Whereas if you wait and get those free updates from developers, that it'll look appropriate, you know. But to me, looking at this, where is it? There's moments in this sim where it just looks like Microsoft Flight Sim. You know, it's like there's no difference. Where's the outside? See, like this here? Ooh. This here, if somebody told me this is Microsoft Flight Sim, I'd totally believe them. The ground texturing looks like what I've witnessed in Microsoft Flight Sim. Okay? Identical. The plane doesn't. The plane does actually look like it's from FSX. But, like, I would totally buy that. This looks like Microsoft Flight Sim, you know? The plane doesn't, though. The plane does look old. Definitely doesn't look like Microsoft Flight Sim. That looks like Microsoft Flight Sim for the water. For the clouds, obviously, it is Microsoft Flight Sim because that's the same weather engine. But seriously, guys, for what you get with version 5, it's going to be about 75% of what the Microsoft Flight Sim is. You know, look at the textures. There's no textures on this cockpit. Look at that. Whereas with the version 5, you're only going to be paying one flat rate fee, guys. That's my main thing. The pricing structure is very important to me. You know. We're going to look at the clouds and a couple of moments, and then that's it, guys. It's bit it again, guys. Look at that. It's bit it again. This VLC player is just horrendous. That looks like Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. I mean, for clouds, there we go. That looks like Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 clouds. It's coming out tomorrow, guys. This is. I reckon I'll be paying 40 quid for it, but it'll be performing, twice as good as my current sim, and it will look 3 times better. And I reckon I'll be using all the same planes and all the same airports that I've got for version 4, but I'll be having a much smoother and better experience, Who wants a slideshow, guys, in the simulator? Nobody wants to see a slideshow. All of the, I mean, for clouds, this is a pretty horrific video for clouds, to be fair. It doesn't really showcase the clouds, it showcases the cockpits. But, yeah. You do not have slideshow in version... No, I don't have a slideshow in version 4.5. But my sliders and everything are not fully ramped up to the top. I limit my sim quite a lot to get the performance. So I have a smooth ride. And I kind of, I wish I could do better. Oh, thank you very much, Clive. My performance is very good. Thank you very much. I appreciate you saying that, mate. But I know my performance could be better with what hardware I got. And to be honest, I've got a pretty good hardware. A pretty good computer, really. But version 4.5, yeah. Guys, I'll be getting it. I'll be getting it. Look at this. That airport ain't been modeled at all, has it? Look at this. Look at the gauges here. Nothing. This is the beta, by the way. This is the beta version. Yeah. Anyway, guys, I will be getting it, and I will be doing a live installation and a live first look in the next couple of days, either tomorrow when I first get it or the day after. All right, guys? Anyway, is there any questions or anything you wanted to ask before we call it a day? Because, that's it, really. We've had a look at everything. We've had a look at that change log. The latest news from Lockheed Martin hasn't changed. That is it, my friends. I want to thank you so much for watching, I really appreciate it. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, see what happens. And I will see you guys in the next couple of days for a first look at P3D version 5. Take care, guys. Bye-bye. Have a word with Chris Bell. Might have a word with Chris Bell. Let's go have a word with him, Clive. Come on. I'll meet you on the inside.